Oh, hello YouTube. My name is Alexis and I like to make things. The reason I'm starting this channel is because I'm going to try and do the internet differently this year, with more honest intention and less posting random stuff on Instagram, which I really like to do. Plus, I thought I should round out my sharing platforms. As I stated, I'm severely addicted to Instagram. Like many, I also have a website. So I thought I need a third way of sharing my work to even it out. My art handle is Eyetrade Handmade. I as in your eye. Why did I choose that bit of weirdness? Because any visual work is a literal exchange of perspective. I am sharing my perspective with you by showing my work, and by looking at my work, you form your own personal perspective, since everything visual is subjective. You can share with me or not, but just your visual interaction with the work symbolizes the type of exchange for me. Your main question is probably, what do I make? And the answer is a lot of different crap. But the projects I'm most proud of to date are my zines. Now, I'm not a writer at all, but I find the medium of a zine a great informal way to communicate my ideas. On my website, my zines can all be found under Poor Woman's Wisdom tab. Get it? Because zines are affordable to create. I am a woman, and the zines I create are personal wisdom and knowledge won through trial and error. Many errors. Now let's do show and tell. The first zine I ever made was because of a creative retreat I went on with three magical ladies in my art business group. Taylor of Blueprints for Sewing had us cut up old books we got from the thrift store and make a zine. Before this, I never understood zines. They seemed completely undefinable and miscellaneous. After making one with Taylor, I got it. This is literally whatever I want it to be. Communication at its most me. My favorite part is Charles Cerie's hummingbird sketch that I embroidered on top of it. I think it is such a great example of the transition between an abstract idea and something more tangible. Abstract concepts are literally what the zine is about. What's really annoying is I made this and then I made copies of it at the library for art fair I was in, and then I left the inside page in the copy machine and they threw it away. So it's gone forever. I just am able to make copies of copies, but still, I like it. It's cool. Not as satisfying, but cool. Flat Pattern Alterations Workbook was my first attempt at writing down what I learned from sewing and teaching community classes for 10 years. I started with just visuals and I included very few words. I wanted to be, something specifically geared to visual learners. And my art group was like, you have to use more words. We can't read your mind. I was like, fine, whatever. So there's a lot more words now. My favorite part is about boobs. I think the most common issue people have when they start sewing their own garments is they always start with woven fabric, which has no stretch. It's very unforgiving. And everyone's boobs are in a different place. So if you are doing a fitted garment, even semi-fitted, just like, one dart on each side, they could be pointing in the completely wrong direction and look super weird. So just moving your bust point where the dart's pointing will make your outfit look 100 times better. And it also gets into, what size you are and how boobs, go down, not out. And that's a big issue with a lot of adjustments too, because of gravity. But yeah, so the Truing Workbook is a companion to the Alterations Workbook. I think it's easy to forget how crucial truing is to any sewing pattern project. Whether you make a change to a pattern, it's hard to account for all the ripples of effect that change causes. So truing is like proofreading, making sure everything lines up the way it needs to. It's kind of boring, but really, really important. My favorite part is everything, honestly. All the information is so helpful and important no matter what project you're doing. Making a pattern from an existing garment, altering a pattern, or trying to add onto an existing garment. It's just great. My favorite part is definitely these 2 pages. I walk you through how to line up your side seams if you have a dart, and how to line up your armhole with your sleeve cap, which was very difficult to figure out how to communicate. And I like how they kind of look like little microscope slides. Very scientific. It makes me very happy. Okay, how to be good at being bad at something is completely a love project born from my anxiety. I wanted to allow myself and everyone else to make mistakes, but make it kind of fun and tangible. I think that's a lot of my artwork, is making it more tangible, understandable, like an abstract idea. I want to be able to touch it and understand it in a more physical, interactive way. So the fun part about this is I made this stencil and I called it the Thought Reframer. And I just go to different situations that I felt uncomfortable or had anxiety, which is almost everything, leaving the house really. And I would take a picture of the stencil, you know, and the view through the stencil. So this walks you through the 6 steps. I think 6 steps? Yeah. The 6 steps that I made up to make trying new things easier. And it also talks you through my personal experience with a lot of anxiety fueled situations. So again, 100% love project. It was so pleasant to make and not hard work at all. It was just fun. And I hope you guys like it. There's actually a free version online because I just wanted to share that joy with the world. Oh, it's even extra great. Sorry, I'm in love with it. Extra great because if you buy the physical copy, I give you a cutout. You can cut out yourself and use this method if you wish. Also, there's this great quote from Joy, the Book of Joy, Lasting Happiness in a Changing World, which follows a trip between the Dalai Lama and Archbishop Tutu. And it was great that I was working on this while I was listening to that audiobook, because those 2 men are just, they're just beautiful human beings. And it was a wonderful read. Listen. Bye now. The Upcycler's large pocket field guide lays out my favorite thing in the sewing world, and that's experimenting with existing garments. There's so many reasons to love upcycling. It's cheap, low risk. You get to use your imagination more than just following a pattern, in my opinion. But on the other side of the coin, it's really a lot of trial and error. You know, take something apart and you try to make something new, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, and you learn something. But I've had taught the class before, and I felt like I've had a lot of students who are frustrated about like all the seam ripping, or they didn't have enough fabric, and I'm like, yeah, that's them's the breaks. And I think my favorite part would be, so I had no idea how I was going to visually communicate this, and I was trying to brainstorm a way to make it fun visually, because that's really what it's about for me. And so I bought these old patterns like from the 80s on eBay, and then I like cut them out and scanned them, and then like combined them to symbolize the new design. So I literally had to just like make this all up while I was doing it, the designs and everything, to try to give good examples. Of course, my favorite chapter is Frankenstein technique, because that's just combining existing garments. So that's the last part, and it's my favorite. I love it so much. They make me so happy. And at the end, I show you all my weird combinations. So yeah. So in conclusion, I have no clue what I'm doing, but I'm trying something new. Hope you enjoy it. See you next time, YouTube.